So I'm Jessica. I'm his oldest daughter. So this is my sister Ashley, my little sister. You all know my mom, Janice. This is my husband, Jason.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi. And this is my firstborn, Adelaide. And this is my youngest, Amelia. So she's 15 months and she's about 4.5.
One more grandkid on the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's coming. He's like,
Something you didn't tell me.
no.
That's not me. I'm not.
He'll be here soon.
Her husband and her baby's on the way. He's not a baby. He's
my son
7.
Axel.
Yeah. So I just thought if we could just kind of go around and see who everybody is today. I see a lot of familiar faces, but then there's a lot of people who I haven't seen in many, many years. So it's wonderful to see you all. And if you have something you want to share, then just throw it out there. If not, just tell us who you are, and we'd love to know.
I'm Connie Hannah, and that's my husband Sam. We graduated in '64 with Dana, and we live right down the street, and we ride our bikes all the time. And Dana would always be out front tinkering in his motor in the carport or doing something. And we'd stop and say, "Come on, Dana, go for a bike ride with us." "I will, but not today."
Say that for 20 years.
But he always had a smile on his face, always joking and laughing, and we loved talking politics with him. That was always interesting. But we loved Dana. He was a neat guy.
Thank you.
Neat guy.
Marianne Murs from First Baptist, and I've been in Sunday school with Janice for several years, so, but no Dana through Janice.
I'm Lillian Stitz, and I'm a friend of Janice's in Sunday school also.
And I'm Pat Kuhn. I'm a friend of hers from Sunday school also. But I also went to college, high school. Like, I elevated everybody from that. College. I can't get it. Never mind. That's what happens when you get old. Okay, your turn. Sorry.
So you went to high school with these people?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Betty Webb, and I know Janice currently in the class with these ladies at church, but I have some history with Ashley too. When I worked in the youth department, we spent quite a bit of time doing some evangelism and outreach visits together, and so on those long rides to the appointed addresses, I learned a lot about the family.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. I'm Connie's husband, Sam, and we've known Dana, knew him forever, and enjoyed some time with him and Janice in Maine a few times. So we love Dana, love the family.
Yeah, my name is Frank Knoll, and I met Dana on Frail Street. I'm one of the Frail Street boys, and the Frail Street gang. We were famous for that. We kind of run the shores for about 5 years down there.
I'm Jamie Hogan. Dana and I go way back through thick and thin. We busted knuckles together a couple times, and but we remained really good friends, and it was great reconnecting with him. And what happened to him is sad. It makes me mad. Anyway, love the guy.
Hi, I'm Sharon Crow. I'm Paul's first and last wife. So anyway, I think I met Dana years and years ago, but it's been a long time. But anyway, nice to see all of you gathering in his memory. That's nice. I know Paul thought very highly of him, so I'll let him speak. This is my son.
I'm Stephen Crow. I'm Paul Crow's son. Paul, of course, grew up with Dana. Heard a lot of stories. I don't think this can be mentioned here today in public. Glad to be here.
I'm Paul Crow, retired law enforcement. I met Dana when we were sophomores. Dana had a smile to him. I used to call it Dennis the Menace. There was nothing he wouldn't try. After football practice, we went into the shower room on Bay Street, the old Mainland. He had a petition at the front of it. You couldn't see us inside, and walking back and forth in our birthday suits. Dana and I said at the end of it, we got done drying off. He says, bet you I can outrun you to that petition. I said, give me a break. It's only 30 yards. Come on, come on. So we did. Problem was, neither one of us could stop. We took that petition right out to the Dale parking lot. And if you never got a paddling pair, no clothes, Coach, who was the coach's name?
Wicker. Wicker's the one that paddled mine.
Butler, Coach Butler gave us both 3 licks. And that was just one of many, many, many things Dana could do. I always loved the guy. I talk about him to this day to my son. There's athletes, then there's Dana Fides. He was a hell of an athlete. You just couldn't ask for a better friend. Just loved the guy to death. We had a lot of good times. He was living behind the #1 theater at the time on Railway. We joined up. But like I said,
is that the time he took the car? That he took the car to the drive-in?
Yeah. But I wouldn't have missed this for the world. I just got out of the hospital. It was just timing. I'm saying, God, I hope I can make this. I hope I can make this. I hope, I've got one leg working and one not. So I'm coming one way or the other, So it's a thrill to be here. I see so many good faces here. Sammy, thank you. I appreciate Dana so much. Quite an inspiration. Very smart young man.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
My name is Billy Simmons. Graduated with Dana and Jamie and some of the people here. It's a shame that Dana's not here to see this, but I'm sure he'd like it. He'd enjoy it. He'd be glad that everybody's here, and we miss him.
I'm Dana's wife, still am. And I have a little story. Probably most of you have heard it, but I'll repeat it because it's kind of funny. I was going down the beach by the, by the Bel Air Plaza. I wanted to go get a horse magazine. And as I went by, I saw this lifeguard talking to a girl in a bikini out by his tower. I didn't think anything about it. I had on jeans and a plaid shirt. And as I was coming back, I passed by the cars, and here's this lifeguard sitting there leaning against his car. And he said, how are you? Fine. I didn't let anybody pick me up. I mean, never. Except for Dana. And he said, when I kept walking, he said, come back here. I mean, he's a lifeguard, maybe he's okay. And I went back and I gave him a telephone number. I got back to where I was living and the telephone rang. Would you like to go down to my place? And they're having a picnic down there. Lie. But anyway, he said, well, I know. I said, how do you, I don't know you. And he said, well, how the hell are you getting to know me? Excuse me. And I said, well, okay. So I left a note there for the maid. And it said, if I'm not here by morning, call the police. I've gone out with a lifeguard named Dana. And it lasted, we hit it off, and it lasted 53 years. So,
what a wonderful story.
That is.
Hi, I'm Kathy Kelly. Dana and I went to high school together, and I'll always cherish what he wrote in my yearbook was that he wouldn't have passed English if it wasn't for me. I don't know that that's true, but for years when I'd go down Beach Street, he'd come out of his shop there that had that business, lawn chair or outdoor furniture business, and we'd talk and catch up and everything. I hadn't seen him, I think, since the class reunion. I think he brought his daughter to the class reunion, right? But such a good guy. It's such a loss.
Hi, my name is Joan Phillips Lando, and I'm also a classmate of Dana's. I remember seeing him, I think, when we were in our 40s, when he had his outdoor rattan place, and that's exactly when it's the last time I got to see him.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Joe Roberts graduated with Dana, class of '64, and again, I haven't seen Dana since the class reunion, but I remember him in high school. Great athlete, just a nice guy, just a nice guy.
I'm Phyllis Hogan. My Jamie's over there. I have heard about Dana. Jamie and I have been married for 52 years, and I have heard so many wonderful stories about Dana and what good friends they were, and I know that he cherishes all those memories. And what happened to Dana was criminal, and I just am so sorry for your loss.
I'm Mickey Roberts. I belong to Joe Roberts, and Phyllis and I graduated years after these guys.
Decades even.
But I met Dana for the first time at the reunion, and he was just so funny. He walked over to Joe and he said, "Joe Roberts," and he went, "Paul somebody," and he said, "No, Dana." So we hadn't seen each other, or they hadn't seen each other in a long time, and he was very polite, a very nice man.
Hi, I'm Mike Jeffries. I did not go to Mainland High School. I knew Dana when he and myself, and maybe some of you know Jim Fesmeyer, all decided to move out to the country together because we all had something in common. Our wives loved horses. So we all bought vacant land. We moved mobile homes onto them. And worked like dogs getting that place to, homesteading out there. And Dana was in the thick of the whole thing. He was kind of the backbone of the outfit. None of us rode horses, but we did a lot of feeding. So I'll remember him for many of the things we all did together. We were kind of thick as thieves, had backyard parties all the time, tons of, what was it, oysters?
Yeah.
We bought them by the bushel.
We like oysters.
And he had an aquarium business at the time. He was building aquariums and selling them to stores who resold them. One of his customers was Sears. And I'll never forget that he used to pretend that he had a big office, So when the phone rang in his shop, where he was putting aquariums together, he'd get one of us to answer it. Like, this was the big business, and I'll see if he's busy right now, and could you please hold, and typewriter noises in the background, and that kind of thing. But, so we worked on that. We built some furniture together, rebuilt Volkswagens, and he was just a wonderful friend to have, and I'm sure you all miss him, and I miss him in a way, too.
Remember the night you all were doing the Russian dance and the horses calling?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we had a lot of that. Yeah. Spent more on vet bills than I did on my kids, I'll tell you.
We still do.
Oh, God. I pity you.
Well, that was lovely meeting everybody and hearing your stories. And I have a lifetime of stories, but my dad is the best father anybody could ever imagine. I wish I could have lived closer to him, in these last few years. I live over in Orlando, so I didn't get to see him as much as I would have liked, but he was the best grandfather and smartest person I've ever known. He could fix anything.
That's true.
He could...
Anything.
There are so many cars that we have that he rebuilt. Oh, no biting. Thank you. I know my husband had a Saturn.
I had the same car for 20 years, and gosh, he kept it alive. It died halfway through, and he just brought it back from the dead. And I had the same car for 10 more years. I had it from age 19 to 39, and
wow, he just rebuilt the whole thing. You give him an engine, you give him anything that runs, and he could rebuild it. It was just
That's true.
Amazing.
And brains trickled down to both of them, and their athleticism, both of them were amazing weightlifters, and you guys were saying how good of an athlete he was, and it definitely carried on to both of them. They were both amazing also, and so all that stuff and the memories, and it's just been cool. When you think back, it's like I'll see something at the house, I'm like, I can't fix this, but I know somebody that could, and I wish he could. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, he was jack of all trades and master of all of them, it seemed like, too.
Yeah, yeah. Whether it was cooking, whether it was riding a horse, the stories I hear of him going out and just bareback and jumping the horses out in the property in Tampa, and so we just, it's always sad when somebody passes, because there's just a library of knowledge and everything that you lose with it, and it's just and that's what we lost with him. But thank you guys, and we have lots of food. Help yourself. Thank you all again.